The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, people? Happy Monday, man. Happy Monday. I know it's like evening, people getting out of work. It's Monday, start of the week. Had a long week, but it's good to be here back live again, and we got quite a lot to talk about, with the whole Canelo-Plant thing and the aftermath. And, I'm sure throughout this live, I'm going to get someone who didn't comment on any of the other videos. So if you're a Canelo fan and you want to tee off on me for my bad prediction, then feel free to make this live where you do that. But listen, it's good to be here. It's always good to talk boxing with you guys. It's always good to be in the company of good people, man. I consider anybody who comes to these lives, for the most part, there's a couple of idiots here and there, but good people. So I like being here. But yeah, a whole lot to talk about. And before I get to the main topic of this live, there's some comments I want to get to, and then there's something I want to I want to announce as well here on the channel. So we'll start. My boy Ordinary P, he says, and by the way, shout out to Ordinary P. He's a regular viewer of the channel. He says Canelo versus David Benavidez is an absolute must. Hey, make it happen, man. It's a good fight. Two very strong fighters, two very aggressive fighters. Why not make it happen? Slugfest says, I've been waiting for this. Yes, Slugfest. I know you're going to have a lot to say. I know you're going to have a lot to say to me. So let me have it, man. It's all in good fun. I take my losses how I take my wins. And we don't go into witness protection for nobody. So we here, man. It's the untouchable True School Sports Empire. But listen, man, let me say this. I'm gonna get to more comments in a second, but I wanted to make this announcement on the channel, so make sure you guys. I'll probably have a separate video about this, or maybe I'll just cut up the video and make it a video and release it later. But listen, man. So you guys may have heard me say last week at some point that you could expect some sort of announcement. So I just announced it on my Instagram. I figured I'd announce it here. All right, so we're gonna go. Hold on, let me make sure I got my shit right here, my phone. I want to make sure everything is good. All right, so we got the screen share going. All right, I want to make sure we got this right here on my phone. Let me see. All right, so with that being said, look, I mentioned I got an announcement. Some of you may wonder what the hell is BT talking about? What is this announcement he has? Now, it's not like listen, I'm pretty excited about it. It's a big deal to me. All right, it's a big deal to me. But listen, man, I was talking to one of my friends back home in South Florida, and he put me in touch with a really good graphic design person. So earlier, about an hour or so ago, I haven't posted it here on the channel, but I'm gonna let you guys know here. This the new True School Sports logo. That's the new True School Sports logo. So I wanted to get your guys' take on that. I love it, man. Shout out to Jennifer, Jen. She did a great job. I told her what I wanted. I told her I wanted the boxing gloves with the palm trees and the water, and she made it real South Florida with the Vice City colors. So I'm gonna be dropping this soon. I'll be changing my channel logo soon. We'll have merch coming out soon. I want your guys' feedback on it, because I like it. Like I really do like it, and I think it's a lot cleaner than the one I had before. We had the last one we made on whatchamacallit, on what's that website called? Wix. The last logo I made myself on Wix. This is actually like legit. I got someone who knows what they're doing to do it, and they brought my idea to life. So yeah, man, I'm pretty excited about it. So I hope you guys like it. Let me see what are some of y'all guys saying. He says, Chris Perino says, definitely the South Florida vibe. Logo is dope. Colors match the Vice City vibe. Yeah, I agree, man. So yeah, that's my announcement, man. That's the grand announcement. The new True School Sports logo, Vice City, South Florida, stand up. That's the place that we call home. That's the place that made us who we are today. And it's a place that's a very important part in boxing. South Florida, the Tri-County area of South Florida, Palm Beach, Broward County, Miami-Dade County. There's like 26 to 28 boxing gyms. A lot of talent funnels in and out of the gyms. I mean, even right now, you got Gervonta Davis doing his training camp out in Florida right now at a place called Contenders Boxing Gym. So, it's very, very, very important. But yeah, I just wanted to make that little announcement before we get into the live and get your guys' opinion on that. But it seems like we're getting pretty good feedback. I'll probably make an official video later on and talk more about it. But I just wanted to say that right here. Let you guys be the first to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But let me do a couple more comments, and then we'll get started with the nitty gritty. But shout out to everybody here. Make sure you smash that like button. It's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. So We see Chris. He said it's a weak ass logo. Fuck you, Pab. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself, champ. I don't need to hear from you. He says he probably had Plant winning all the rounds. No, I didn't. I actually had Canelo up 6-4. I had Canelo winning the fight. I thought Canelo did a great job. I got nothing bad to say about Canelo. But we are listen. Obviously, we want to see the Andre fight, but it's probably not going to happen. And Andre, look, we'll get to Andre later in the live. We will get to Andre later in the live. But this live is going to be more about some other ways that this is going to affect boxing. This fight, the aftermath. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? Where's Rico's comment? I'm gonna get to like 2 more comments and then we're gonna get right to it. So Rico says, in your prediction video, I said Plant will get KO'd or robbed. I'm proud of Plant. He's a B-level fighter and he was keeping up with a pound-for-pound fighter. Canelo still hasn't impressed me yet either. Listen, man, for somebody who had such little experience, I thought he performed pretty well. A lot of people were very quick to point out his lack of experience, and I thought he looked very much in the fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say he took a dive. Some people are sold in the conviction that he took a dive. Some people won't stop talking about that it was a dive. But we don't do that here on True School Sports. We give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? We give credit where credit is due. Jonathan Simon, what's good, champ? What's up? How you doing? We see Plant is a bigger, better defensive version of Boo Boo. I don't know where on earth you got that from. He's a very good defensive fighter, but they're different. They're different fighters. The way they go about their defense is different. So I wouldn't compare them. Plant is a.
I remember one time when I was talking to Caleb. Caleb actually told me that the best fighter he's ever been in the ring with was Demetrius Andrade, and he told me he sparred Kovalev. So I don't know if he's a bigger, more stronger version, but from Caleb's mouth, Caleb told me that Demetrius Andrade was the best.
He only told you that? Well, there you have it, Johnny put y'all on game. He said that Caleb Plant apparently said that Demetrius Andrade is the best fighter he's ever been in the ring with. So do with that information what you want to do with it. But listen, this fight, like it was an important fight, you know, just because of the fact that it was Canelo becoming undisputed, and you know, a lot of things are going to come off. A lot of things in boxing, a lot of wheels are turning in boxing from this fight. Like, for example, let's go back to screen share, because I'm gonna be using a lot of screen share, right? So, as many people speculated, right? As many people were speculating, Canelo Alvarez was fighting Caleb Plant, and they were saying that Caleb Plant was going to be used as the sacrificial lamb to try to lure Canelo to PBC. And look, this article just came out on Boxing Scene today. Just came out today. Canelo says, Showtime, PBC, Al Heyman treated me so well. We'll see what comes next. Oh. Nigga, yeah, stop distracting me, bro. Stop distracting me. I'm about to stop. Please, bro. Stop, bro. Yeah, a lot of people were speculating that Canelo Alvarez was going to sign PBC, and that they were using this Caleb Plant fight to lure him to sign with Al Heyman. But lo and behold, this comes out right after. I mean, this comes out like right after. He says, Showtime, PBC, Al Heyman treated me well. We'll see what comes next. So let's get to the actual comments. So Canelo Alvarez, fresh off his win against Caleb Plant, stated the following, and I quote, Showtime, PBC, and Al Heyman treated me so well. I felt really comfortable. And all I can say is that overall, end to end, it was excellent. So yeah, he says he doesn't really have anything particular in mind. He don't know who he's fighting next, when he's gonna fight next. But let's just do some math right quick. Let's connect the dots and let's do the numbers, right? Okay, so we know. Let's just be real. I gave Canelo's respect, but we know for a fact that Canelo Alvarez, due to his own admission on 3 different occasions, he has no interest in fighting Demetrius Andrade. So I'm going to continue campaigning for it. I'm going to continue mentioning that match as much as possible and using my platform here to try to make that fight happen, or try to make some sort of influence, make that fight happen. But, you know, straight up, it's probably not going to happen, because the powers that be in boxing don't want to see Demetrius Andrade in the ring with most of their fighters, because he's dangerous, and the danger that he presents is not worth the return on investment that they want to put their fighters in the ring with. That's just the harsh realities of boxing and the boxing business and the people in the boxing business that we gotta deal with, you know. But you know, when we look at the options, the available options, I think Jamal Charlo is an available option. I think Benavidez is probably the most attractive option due to the fact that he's a Mexican-American fighter with an entertaining style. Now, Benavidez does fight this week. He got to get past Kyron Davis. And look, in boxing, you can never look past any opponent. You can't look past any opponent. So he got to make sure that he take care of that fight, because if he don't, he can't fight Canelo. But he should take care of Kyron Davis because he's a better fighter than Kyron Davis. But I'm fully anticipating that if Canelo or if Benavidez beats Kyron Davis, that the next fight in May, think about it. Let's just do the timelines. He said he's not fighting till May, right? He said he's not fighting till May. May is what? Someone in the comments, help your boy BT out, all right? Help me out. What Mexican holiday is in May? Cinco de Mayo. Thank you. Johnny helped me out. So what better way to have Cinco de Mayo than have Canelo Alvarez fight Dave Benavidez? You know,
Canelo's most likely next 4 fights are probably gonna be. Let's be honest here. It's probably gonna be.
You want me alive?
You gotta. They can hear me. They can hear me. I'm not looking too good right now, but you got Beater Beef. He can fight Beater Beef at 175.
Yep.
He could either fight
Charlo
too.
Benavidez.
Which one was the 4 that I told you? I don't think Benavidez is one of the.
Bivol.
I think. Oh yeah, Beater Beef, Bivol, Charlo, or Triple G. It's not going out of those 4.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
It's one of those 4.
I agree. So all those 4, y'all let me know in the comments. Who the hell do you want to see Canelo fight out of those 4, and who do you think has the best chance of beating him? Now look, for me, I've said it many times. I want to see the Demetrius Andrade fight. I think Demetrius Andrade is the hardest puzzle to solve for Canelo Alvarez. Straight up, I still think it, irrespective of what I saw, he had a good performance. I gave him his respect, but I still think the hardest puzzle for him to solve is Demetrius Andrade. And if people don't think he's that special or they don't think he's that good, okay, well, if Boo Boo takes care of his business, all right, if he takes care of his business and beats up on Jason Quigley like he should beat up on Jason Quigley and gets the win, make the shit next. Make it in May. Trust me, you're gonna listen. When you fight Canelo, you're fighting the machine of boxing. You're fighting the machine of boxing. So, you're not gonna go in there beating him without boxing the most perfect fight in history. And even that might not be enough. Straight up, that might not be enough. You know what I'm saying? So, look, Canelo is good because Canelo Alvarez he's good for boxing because he gets us talking. You either love him or you hate him. Most people love him. Most people hate him, or some people hate him. I mean, some people don't like him. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I respect him. He's a good fighter. He's a creme de la creme, top shelf elite fighter. I think after this week, he really further cemented that. But I want to see him fight Demetrius Andrade. Whoever. I want to see him fight Demetrius Andrade. So make of that what you will. Canelo Alvarez is saying that Showtime, Al Heyman, all parties involved, that they treated him well. And they're gonna treat him well because of course they're gonna treat him well. He's gonna get Canelo Alvarez is gonna get the royal treatment because he's the biggest money making machine in North America in all boxing really. And on top of that, we all know that the PBC's deal with Fox is up, so he's trying to secure, if not another deal with Fox, maybe a network deal with somebody else. And the best way to do that would be to get Canelo straight up. To get Canelo. Canelo does numbers. Whether you like him or not, he does numbers. He puts asses in the seats. So make of that what you will. But in other news, and then I'm going to talk about the Canelo-Plant side of things. Then we're going to go to Canelo versus Benavidez because I do want to camp out on that. Okay, now, Canelo-Plant, my main man, 50 grand, CP, Canelo-Plant. That's my guy right here. Listen, I'm no bandwagon jumper like you guys. I'm 10 toes down with everything I say and with everything I do. And with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, I still love Canelo-Plant. I've been following him since he was a prospect. I still think he's one of the best 68-pounders in the world. And I think his stock should go up with most people. I know it will with some, but I feel like his stock should go up because he had 21 fights. He had 21 fights and he fought Canelo Alvarez, and he was very much in the fight. God forbid, right? Like I like Canelo, but God forbid Floyd Mayweather, or someone like him, like Floyd Mayweather, box a fighter with 21 fights and be competitive. We would never hear the end of it. So I think Canelo-Plant does deserve some respect put on his name for the performance, for being competitive, and for making Canelo have to show that extra bit of quality to win the fight. You know what I'm saying? But look, here's what Canelo-Plant said. He said the following, and I quote, He says, I bent most of the world to my will and done it with nothing but passion and skill. I'll be back. I showed I belong on the top level, and I'll be champion of the world again. I've never been scared to go big or go out on my shield. Thank you to all my fans and all my supporters. So there you have it. CP, Canelo-Plant, still in good spirits. And look, man, there's no shame. When you fight a fighter that is generally considered to be one of the best, if not the best fighter in the world, and you lose, there's no shame in that. There truthfully is no shame in that. It's not like he did the Avni Yildirim or Rocky Fielding and got his blown out. It was a competitive fight. He had to make Canelo work. So I still think CP got a future in boxing. I know his next fight. I mean, who could he fight next? I know a lot of people are saying maybe Jamal Charlo. I think that'd be a good fight because Jamal Charlo got to do something. Jamal Charlo been fighting nobodies. Jamal Charlo been very mediocre in his last couple performances. Jamal Charlo has been content to just stack his money and do nothing with boxing. So I like to see Jamal Charlo versus Canelo-Plant if they can make it happen. If not Jamal Charlo versus Canelo-Plant, I think another realistic fight would be maybe him against Anthony Dirrell, because Anthony Dirrell just got a knockout on the undercard. And Anthony Dirrell don't like Canelo-Plant. Also, Anthony Dirrell is I think he's ranked number 5 in the WBC, so he's got good ranking position. It makes a lot of sense, you know what I'm saying? So Canelo-Plant, really still in good spirits. I hope he can come well, heal up, and continue to give the fans great fights. Because one thing we got to stop doing in boxing, every time a fighter loses their O or anything like that, one thing we got to stop doing is just writing them off and talking about them like they're not good or they're not worth anything. This is a guy, like I said on Instagram. And you know what? What's my Instagram post at? I'm gonna read you guys my Instagram post because I really felt some type of way about how people were talking about it. And by the way, if y'all ever want to get in touch with me outside of YouTube, this is the best way. You can follow me on Instagram at JustAKidFromDania. That's me right there. You can follow me there. Pretty easy to get in touch with over there. I'm always on Instagram. But look, I posted this about Canelo-Plant. I wanted to read to you guys because I really feel like it's relevant to what's going on. So this is what I said. I said, I quote, I'm no bandwagon jumper. I'm 10 toes down with everything I say and do. I'm still a Canelo-Plant fan, and now more than ever. You mean to tell me this country boy from Tennessee nobody ever gave a chance to in life, let alone boxing, gave a man who's the best fighter in the world, in the most people's eyes, one of the toughest fights of his career with only 21 fights coming in? Man, if you still think Canelo-Plant is trash and fights Uber drivers and is not a world-class fighter, please go follow tennis because boxing isn't your sport. This man was against all odds from the jump. He had the crowd against him, the box world against him, and he still displayed a beautiful display of boxing. He made Canelo Alvarez have to think and really show some extra quality to win the fight. Ponder that for a second. Scrubs aren't that level of competitive with Canelo Alvarez. And then this is my favorite part right here. This is my favorite part. And by the way, if you're commenting, I'm going to get to some of y'all's comments, so just keep commenting, and I'll get to your comments, super chat, all the good stuff. I'll get to your comments. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just getting my points off. But I also said I love Canelo-Plant because by being authentically himself, he exposes what people think about themselves. You see in life as a man, you either have the balls to go for what you want or you don't. He has it. A lot of people are very insecure about themselves and have no confidence to try to achieve anything great in their life. So they project their failures, shortcomings, and piss poor attitudes about life towards someone like Canelo-Plant, all while vicariously living through Canelo because they had nothing going on for themselves. The man was a national Golden Gloves champion, USA Olympic alternate, IBF super middleweight champion, and actually challenged for the undisputed crown. Some people in boxing never accomplished 33% of that, and they act like there's something special. Canelo-Plant made upwards of $10 million and goes home to Jordan Plant. So did he really lose? I think not. Keep your head up, CP. You're still one of the best in the world. You'll be back. There you have it, man. There you have it. So I'm still rocking with him. I still think he's got a future in the sport, and I'm not one to just throw under the bus. But look, we got to fight this weekend, right? We got to fight this weekend. We got a very, 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 I won't say a big fight because the fight itself isn't big, but as far as why it's important, it's a fight that this guy must win. Now, Benavidez, he's in action, and everybody's been telling me, for example, I was talking to my good buddy yesterday from Fight Hype, my boy Sean Tattel. And, I love Sean Tattel. Sean Tattel is one of my brothers in the fight game. I love that dude to death. I think he's one of the best in the business. I think he's one of the best boxing reporters there is, and he works just as hard, if not harder than anybody in boxing. He's a really hard worker, man. I really got the utmost respect for Sean Tattel and all the great interviews and content that he's putting out on Fight Hype. on the channel. But I was talking to him right yesterday, and he's been trying to drill it into my head for the longest time. He's like, BT, even before the fight, BT, Canelo-Plant isn't the guy to beat Canelo. It's David Benavidez. It's always been David Benavidez, and it'll always be David Benavidez. So he's been basically telling me to get on the bandwagon and start pushing for this David Benavidez Canelo fight. Now look, David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez is a very explosive fight. It's two aggressive, strong, come forward Mexican fighters. I like the fight. I think David Benavidez is probably one of the only fighters in boxing on paper and based on what we've seen that I would give a chance at being able to hold Canelo off with just sheer strength and force and, punching power, So I think it's a good fight. But like David Benavidez, the reason I have my questions about him is because, one, he's not disciplined. That much is certain. One thing's for sure. And two things for certain, he's not disciplined. He's shown that in his career on multiple occasions, from losing his title on the scale to the coke incident. His discipline, you have to call it into question. Now, will I question David Benavidez's heart and his balls? No. This is somebody that, when he was 17, 18, 16 years old, he was sparring the damn Kelly Pavliks of the world. He was sparring the damn Golovkins of the world. And these guys, when he was 16, 17 years old, they were saying, yo, this kid is good, and he's going to be something in boxing. And by his determination and by his work ethic and by, his hard work in the gym, he's become those things. He's become all these things. So, it's a good fight. I think it'll produce some good moments, but I don't think – I'll tell you this. I don't think David Benavidez will do better than Canelo-Plant. I think David Benavidez, he's going to want to sit there and give the fans an exciting fight, and, he's going to try to throw a Canelo, and he's going to go into that high guard. And then when he goes into the high guard, Canelo's going to start handing out rib dinners and punishing him to the body and all this stuff. So, I don't know. It's a good fight, but it's just not one that I'm like the most excited about, because I don't think Benavidez, the way a lot of you guys felt about Plant, that's how I feel about Benavidez. The way a lot of you guys feel about Plant, that's how I feel about Benavidez. But it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Now let me check the comments, man. Let me check these comments, because I know I missed quite a few comments. Let me see. Let me get these comments. Shout out to everybody here, though. It's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. Apparently, I'm gonna have to end the live in about an hour and a half or so, because I got a text message. Apparently, we're gonna go to a gym today. But let me see. I missed a lot of comments, so I want to scroll all the way up, and I'm just gonna work my way down, and we'll continue talking. So let me see. King. I always like positive comments. He says, "You are a good reporter, bro. You're great for boxing." I appreciate that, man. I try to do the best I can. The next fight, by the way, just let you guys know, the next fight we're going to, all right, the next fight we're going to be at live and in the flesh is going to be Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter. So you guys definitely stay tuned for that, because it's going to be a momentous occasion here on True School Sports when that fight happens. Very, very excited about Crawford Porter and just the whole fight week and whatnot. Christian got out. My boy Christian, he says, Bubu Andrade has the best chance. You need a pure boxer power to beat Canelo. Absolutely. Canelo-Plant had half the equation, but he was just lacking that last equation. So, it is what it is, man. Canelo Alvarez, he's too experienced, too good, too smart, too patient, too calm to just, be outboxed or be taking 12 rounds just off a jab. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Fighters get better. Fighters mature. Things vary from fight to fight. Christian says, he also says, Caleb has 21 fights, and he has a lot of road ahead of him. And I agree. I feel like he's got some good fights left in him. I don't think this is the end for Canelo-Plant. I think there's still some beautiful big nights for him in the sport of boxing. I know he's got hand problems, so maybe that might cut his time in the sport short. But I still think there's the best is still yet to come for Canelo-Plant. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? Where is it? Where was it? I just saw a comment. My main man Alfred says, is Munguia fighting this weekend? Yes, he is. That'll be at the same time as Benavidez versus Kyron Davis. I'll ask you guys, which fight should I go live for? Should I go live? I'm gonna let you guys pick for me. Should I go live for Benavidez versus Kyron Davis, or should I go live for Munguia versus Rosado? Let a brother know in the comments down below. Let me know in the comments down below. Munguia Rosado's a good fight though. Munguia Rosado's a good fight. I might just tune into it just because Sinisa Estrada's doing commentary. That's I love me some Sneeze Estrada. So I might just tune in for that. I might just tune in just for that, just to hear how she does on the commentary. Milo says both. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do both. Come hell or high water, we'll find a way to do both. We'll do both. But the priority, honestly, the priority is definitely Munguia versus Rosado, because look, Kyron Davis versus Benavidez is not a big fight. Like, it's not a big fight. It's important because he needs to win the fight to get the Canelo fight, but it's not a big fight. Kyron Davis just had a draw with Darrell. Kyron Davis is a 54-pounder. Really, Munguia Rosado is a much better fight, in my opinion. But we'll try to get both. But yeah, a lot of things happening in boxing, man. You know, a lot of things happening. A lot of things are happening in boxing. You know, we don't know what's next for Canelo, but we do know that Canelo is probably not going to fight till May. And look, let me just call a spade a spade. Like, Canelo Alvarez has earned some much needed rest. I mean, the guy, since December of last year, he's fought 4 times. He fought Smith, Yildirim, Saunders, and now Plant. So let him rest up. Let some other young fighters in boxing, you know, some lesser names in boxing, give them some time to shine, because, you know, when Canelo fights, he's going to take most of the limelight away just because of who he is and how polarizing he is. But, you know, it'll be good. I think the time that Canelo gets the rest will be good for him, because he needs the rest. And, you know, other fighters get a chance to shine, you know. But I mentioned Suleiman. I mentioned Mauricio Suleiman. Let's go back to boxing scene for a second. Now, Mauricio Suleiman, apparently the fight he wants to see, because he's mentioned it, he said that the fight that could be tough for Canelo would be Artur Beterbiev. He says Beterbiev would be a strong threat to Canelo's legacy. So hell of a statement there from Mauricio Suleiman. But he said the following, and I quote, "Yes, we would welcome that fight. Beterbiev makes a mandatory defense in December, and we will be open to do anything he wants to do. It would be a tremendous match. Beterbiev is undefeated. He is a heavy puncher. He would be a strong threat to Canelo's legacy, but Canelo wants to keep going further and further. So let's see." So listen, man, I know a lot of people are banging the drum for Beterbiev, and I like Beterbiev. He's fun to watch. He can box really well. He's physically strong as an ox. He's the only active world champion in boxing with a 100% knockout ratio. And obviously these things on paper, they look good. But some of the things that people who haven't really taken the time to study his career don't know is that, for one, Beterbiev is chinny. He's been dropped at the domestic level in Canada. He's chinny. He's very shop worn from the, you know, he's got a lot of amateur fights. He's very shop worn. He's pulled out a lot of fights because of injuries and things of that nature. So I don't know, man. I'm not really. I've always thought that if Canelo fought Beterbiev, even before the Plant fight, even when like I'd be in the middle of my like Canelo hater rants, you know, even when I was going crazy on Canelo, right? I never thought Beterbiev could be Canelo. I think he's too slow. I think he's too chinny. And I think he's right for the picking. He's right for the picking. I'm surprised, honestly. The biggest surprise is that Canelo hasn't fought him already, to be honest with you. Straight up, man. I like Beterbiev, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. I think business-wise, it makes a lot of sense for Canelo, because Beterbiev he's undefeated. He's the only active world champion in boxing with the 100% knockout ratio. So if Canelo can actually fight him and defeat him, that's a hell of a good thing to have on his resume. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, let me go. Listen, we're getting some interesting comments. So I want to get to these comments, man. But listen, if you're here, man, it's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. You know, we're here. Make sure you smash that like button. Let me see this. Let me see. Where we at? I saw a comment. Where's that comment at? Kelmer, what's good, Kelmer? He says, didn't you say Canelo was ducking the best fight at 168, saying it was Benavidez after he beat Billy Joe? I mean, yeah, he hasn't fought him yet, but I think he will. Right now, I mean, he's cleared out the whole division, all the champions. He cleared out Smith. He cleared out my boy Plant. He cleared out everybody. So right now, the only test I see for him at 68 is Benavidez, because there is going to be people out there that do dispute his undisputed claim, because people may look at Benavidez as the guy that was the WBC champion, and they feel like Canelo should still fight him, especially because he's a young upcoming fighter. He's Mexican. Business wise, it makes a sense. It's not a fight that you could really duck, or avoid. Canelo Alvarez versus Anthony Durrell next. Oh no, don't say that, champ. I can already see it in my head. They're gonna say, oh, Durrell, he was ranked number 5. Did you see that knockout on the Canelo undercard? He deserves it. He's trained by Sugar Hill. I can see all kinds of ways they can make that fight happen, but I think he'll fight Benavidez next, because it'll be Cinco de Mayo. I ate the soap says, shut up. Well, I ate the soap. Don't drop the soap on your way out of here. Get you out of here. Son. You're blocked. You're blocked, son. You're blocked. Usam, shout out to my main man, Usam, the fanboy killer from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He said, what's up, champ? Fuck Canelo. That's right, champ. That's right. Talk to him. I want to see the Andre fight. Listen, man. I know everybody's banging the drums for Benavidez. I know. People are banging the drums for a lot of people, but I still want to see that fight. I think it's the hardest puzzle to solve, and just put it to bed. If he's not that good, put him to bed. Shut me up. Shut everybody up, and it'll be good. It'll be good. Easy does it. 1980. Shout out to my man. Easy does it. Easy does it. Is a long time viewer of the program, so I like Easy does it. But he says Canelo is probably gonna fight John Ryder next. Well, it's not far-fetched that he could fight John Ryder, because of the fact that you gotta understand he's a network. Canelo is a free agent, so he's not formally signed to PBC yet. I mean, he's saying positive things about PBC, but he hasn't, to our knowledge, signed a deal with PBC. So until he signs a deal with somebody one way or the other, you can't really say what he's gonna do or who he'd fight next, or who he's not exclusive to anybody. He's just playing the field. He's kind of like a gigolo to the promoters. He's just playing the field, exploring his options. But it's not far-fetched. He has a good working relationship with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn has already went ahead and said that that Canelo and him have already talked about him coming to the UK, because Canelo's never fought in the UK. Canelo has a lot of fans in the UK because he's fought a lot of British fighters, so it makes a lot of sense. John Ryder is a guy that I thought beat the guy he won his first world title from at 68. John Ryder beat the shit out of Callum Smith. And John Ryder, in my opinion, he's better. John Ryder is better than Callum Smith at 60, in my opinion. I know people may disagree with this, but I thought John Ryder was better than Callum Smith. I thought John Ryder beat Callum Smith. I think John Ryder is an underrated 68-pounder. John Ryder had a good fight with Saunders early in his career. Some people thought it was close. He's a good fighter, so it'd be the perfect opponent to have for your UK debut. That's good.
I want to say, I want to take a moment to say congrats to Jesse Vargas that he's gonna be running for Congress.
Yes,
he's gonna be running for Congress.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Hold on.
Let's
get to that. Hold on. We gotta get to that, champ. We gotta get to that. Hold on. Are we on screen share? No, we're not on screen share. So look, we go on transition for a second, because Johnny's bringing up a great story that deserves to be talked about. All right. So hold on. Let me pull Jesse Vargas up on Instagram. So for those that know and for those that don't know, it was announced today, and I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this shit, because this shit was crazy. I was like, wow, there's no way I'm seeing this. There's no way this could be true, but it is true.
Boxing stand up.
But it is true. Hey Johnny, what did Cadengo say? Oh, it's true. It's damn true. So look,
woo.
Let's go to the screen share. So this right here, for those that know and for those that don't know, this is my main man Jesse Vargas, one of Las Vegas's very own. Now, Jesse Vargas, as you guys can see, this is his Instagram account. He has announced today that he is running for United States Congress. So here's what he said, the following, and I quote, "I have an exciting announcement. I am running for United States Congress, Nevada, District 4. Las Vegas has given me so much, and now I'm devoting my time to make it better and to fight to keep the American dream alive. Follow my campaign. And then he put the link there. I'd be grateful if you can chip in to help preserve the American dream. So what you think? What you think, Johnny? What you think?
He got my vote.
You think Jesse Vargas gonna be a good politician?
He's gonna be a good politician. He a world champion in the ring, and he gonna be a world champion outside.
I mean, look, Jesse Vargas, he's not a big puncher. He's not like a guy that has a bunch of fans. But if you guys look at what this guy would get paid for his purses, this guy was like one of the most overpaid fighters in boxing. So if Jesse Vargas can finesse the boxing business, he can be a politician. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna vote for him, bro.
He's got my vote.
I'm gonna move to Las Vegas. I'm gonna move to Las Vegas before the elections. When are the elections? Are they soon? Are they going like right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. So never mind.
He still got my vote.
Never mind.
He got my vote.
He got my vote. He got my vote in the spirit. So yeah, listen. Jesse Vargas isn't the first. Jesse Vargas isn't the first fighter to run for Congress. If you guys may remember, I did a video years ago. Rod Salko actually ran for Congress in Pennsylvania.
That'll be historic if Jesse Vargas does win, because then you could say in a boxing ring, we've had two politicians.
That's true. That's crazy. Yeah. If Jesse Vargas actually wins the Nevada District 4 seat in Congress, Nevada. If he wins the Nevada District 4 seat in Congress, we can actually say we had two politicians fighting a world title fight. Manny Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas back in 2016. So
tremendous fight.
Hell of a story, hell of a story. Let's see. Anybody interesting comment? Oh, let's post. But yeah, I'm glad Johnny brought that up because I saw that and I was gonna do a video about it, but I figured I'd touch on it a little bit here.
What y'all think about Jared Hurd slapping Charlo?
Usam says if Jesse Vargas is a Democrat, then fuck him. Well, I went ahead and actually read through some of his mission statements and his website policies. I think he's a Republican. I think so too. He got too much money to be a Democrat. Hey, I don't want to get into politics, but but he's probably a Republican.
I'll get into politics with y'all if y'all really want to.
Oh man,
nah, they don't want to. They don't want that.
Major Key, what's good? Glenn Avery, good to see you, champ. Good to see you. Nah, I see Hyro. Hyro's here. Shout out to my boy Hyro. Hyro Galvez, one of the OG subscribers here on True School Sports. Pete, what's good, Pete? The best Canelo fan on earth. He says the untouchable. That's right. I'm
gonna let BT do what he doing in the live, but I just wanted to remind you guys, special announcement. Get Sugar happy with them super chats.
get Sugar happy with them super chats. Iro says, BT, I like how you're standing toe to toe. You didn't abandon Plant like Artman. You know Charlo ain't gonna beat him. Fuck Artman. Oh man, listen, man. I like Artman. I think Artman has a lot of passion for boxing. I think he's just a bit misguided, but he's cool. I had an interaction with him on Instagram this week. He followed me back. Shout out to Artman. Go subscribe to his channel. Go buy a hoodie from him. All that stuff. I'm no hater on the next man's success, but yeah, man. A lot of people that were propping up Plant are abandoning him because they were never truly fans of his in the first place. I've been following him since the Carlos Galvin fight.
By the way, now that Canelo has become undisputed champion, I do want to remind you that now Floyd on his resume, he got two undisputed champions on his resume.
Well, he got Floyd, Zab Judah. Good point. Yeah, now that Canelo's undisputed, Floyd Mayweather got two undisputed champions on his resume, Zab Judah and Canelo.
They say Canelo resume better than Floyd, but now Floyd resume just got better.
It got better. So the more Canelo wins, the better Floyd's resume gets. It's the ultimate paradox. My man Slugfest says, have you heard about Conor Ben fighting Chris Algieri on December the 11th? I have heard about it. It's an interesting fight. It's not a fight that I thought would ever happen. It's not a matchup that ever crossed my mind, but I like it. Conor Ben is still very raw. He doesn't have like the amateur experience of a Virgil Ortiz or the amateur experience of a Jaron Ennis. So he needs to get more experience in the ring. And Chris Algieri, he's a guy that's won a world title at 140. He's tough as nails. He can box really well. He's never been or beaten the elite fighters at 147, but he's given them tough fights. Like he gave Amir Khan a tough fight. He gave he got blasted out there by Spence. He fought who else he fought at 47? He fought Spence, Khan. I'm missing somebody. Spence and Khan.
Pacquiao.
And Pacquiao. There you go. And Pacquiao. That most important one.
But he did beat Ruslan Provodnikov.
Huh?
He did beat
At 40. So look, my thing is this: if Conor Ben is truly elite, if Conor Ben is truly elite, he'll find a way to win this fight. If he's just a hype job, if he's just a product of good matchmaking from Matchroom Boxing, then Chris Algieri will beat him, because I'll tell you this: Chris Algieri is tough. Chris Algieri can box. Chris Algieri is in shape. Chris Algieri is a dog. Chris Algieri, one of the most disciplined fighters in boxing. This the motherfucker that goes on Instagram and takes pride in posting pictures of avocados. This is the man that wrote the book on nutrition.
America.
Milo Grogan, shout out to you out there in South Florida with the $1.99 super chat. He says, the true untouchable, word to C Murder. Yeah, shout out to C Murder, man. What you know about C Murder? What you know about C Murder? You don't know about C Murder, Milo. You're not no real OG. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about no damn C Murder. How long has it been since Chris Algieri fought? He had a stay busy fight a couple months ago. He fought on the undercard of
A couple months ago.
What was it?
That was a year ago.
No. A couple months ago. I was at Meat's house. It was a Triller.
Oh yeah.
He fought. He had a. Let me see. I gotta figure this out. What card was that on? He fought on Triller. Yeah. He did, bro. I watched it. I just can't remember the card right now, because he fought on the undercard when Triller did one of those versus battles. You know those versus battles between the rappers? Johnny, You know those versus battles between the rappers?
Huh?
Do you know when the rappers have those versus battles? Never mind, bro.
Yeah.
Never mind. He fought, like, they had a boxing card. Yeah, bro, he fought Mikel Lespierre. He fought Mikel Lespierre in August. Yeah, he won by UD. It was Michael Hunter. That's why I don't remember. You don't remember because it was Michael Hunter.
Huh?
It was when Michael Hunter fought Mike Wilson. So yeah. Johnny Boy says, shit, I was blasting C Murder and selling Kush while y'all was in diapers. And I wouldn't expect any other sort of comment from you, Johnny. And I don't think you're lying. I don't think you're lying. My man Johnny Boy, he real gangster and thorough from Wisconsin. The Midwest, stand up. Hey, give me 1 second, guys. I gotta tell Johnny something. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Luis R. He says that it's always the incels hating on the chads. Be a man of clarity. Who's the incels and who's the chads? Who are the incels and who are the chads? Be a man of clarity. Don't come here half stepping. Put some respect on Canelo's name. Already have, champ. If you haven't already watched the videos, already have. You're the incel and Canelo is the Chad. Man, if this incel saw you in real life, this incel smacked the fuck out of you. Get the fuck up out of here, Louis. He's talking about he's the incel. I'm gonna use my incel fingers and we're gonna boot you the fuck up on out of here. Shout out to you, Louis. I told you, BT. I hope you didn't bet on Nick Canelo. This thing Inoue has done. He's not number one for me, but he's above Inoue for sure. Showtime Boxing has had the best fights this year. I told you, BT. Well, no, I didn't bet. I don't bet on any fights. I don't bet on fights that I'm right on. I don't bet on no fights. I don't bet money. I don't bet food. I don't bet nothing. You know. Plus, the dude Lewis who was talking about I'm an incel. I guarantee you, if he has a girlfriend and I ran into her in real life, I would take her with the snap of my finger. I'm just humble. Like there's a lot of things that go on in my life that I could be very arrogant about that I don't brag about. Like even stuff that happened to me yesterday. But come on, gonna come over here and be disrespectful. Smack the fuck out of you in real life. I see you. True School gave props. Like yeah, man. Look, I've always told you guys. Look, this isn't like I'm not these other channels. Like to me, You guys sit here, like some of you guys, not all you guys, but some of you guys think I hate. You guys think I live this miserable life and I hate Canelo and I go to sleep and I got bad dreams. No, my life is too good for me to hate another man's success. I just want to see him fight Demetrius Andrade. Anything negative that you ever heard me say about Canelo, it stems from his open avoidance and his open ducking of Demetrius Andrade. Nothing more, nothing less. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's Mexican or all the other bullshit reasons that you guys like to spew. It's just that he's not fighting Demetrius Andrade, and I feel like that's a fight that on multiple occasions should have happened. So it is what it is. Shout out to my boy Shakur. He says, BT, how do you think Virgil Ortiz can get with Eddie? How do I think he'll get along with Eddie Reynoso? How good do I think he can get? Well, he's already pretty good. I mean, he gets on that special stuff, man. It's over. You might as well just pack it up and go home. If Eddie Reynoso starts feeding him that special stuff, pack it up and go home. Now, all jokes aside, they have a good gym culture there. They have a good gym culture there with Canelo and all the people down at the gym, Valdez and all those guys. So I'm sure he'll get better. I'm sure he'll get better. I'm sure he'll improve defensively because, I mean, one thing we can't say about right now. So, listen, PED, drug use aside, all that controversial stuff, when we get to the boxing, Eddie Reynoso did improve Oscar Valdez's defense. That's a fact. I mean, his first fight with Valdez, I believe, was the Jason Sanchez fight. And from that fight on up, Valdez's defense has improved exponentially. Canelo's defense has improved exponentially. A lot of these guys' defense has improved a lot. So it is what it is, man. You know, I think it'd be a good move. Justin G flapping his gums. Justin G got a lot to say. What's Justin G's first comment? He says, Andrade sucks. Plant will destroy Andrade. Plant, I don't know if you were here on the live earlier, but my boy Johnny, who's tapped into all of Las Vegas, like he know probably more about boxing than everybody here when it comes to, like, you know, things that go on within boxing. Bro, Canelo-Plant said himself that Demetrius Andrade is the best fighter he's ever sparred in the ring. You see what? And then he said Andrade is straight trash. Plant easily beats Andrade. Andrade has a worse resume than Plant did. Resumes don't win fights. They don't win fights. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you guys that. They don't win fights. I mean, if we were to go just by resumes, Canelo Alvarez should have knocked the fuck out of Canelo-Plant in the third round. It shouldn't have taken him 11 rounds to do what he did. But it took him 11 rounds, not because of Canelo-Plant's resume, but because of Canelo-Plant's style. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, PEDs don't give you head movement. They don't. They don't. Head movement always comes down to, you know, whatever you're training in the gym. Whatever you're training in the gym, whatever, like, is being taught in the gym, that's how you get better head movement. Here we go. My man Muller. Muller's been flapping his gums all week, and I like Muller 27. Muller's a good guy. He says, big up BT. Glad you're showing your face after the big talk about Plant. Resumes make you what you are. No resume means no experience. But they don't win you. They don't win you the fight. They can't win you the fight against a certain opponent. They don't. Experience matters, but you can't bring a piece of paper in the ring and say, well, I'm going to beat you because I fought these champions. It doesn't matter. Sandor Martin didn't fight nobody before he fought Mikey Garcia. Muhammad Ali fought fucking almost nobody before he fought St. Liston except Doug Jones. So miss me with the resume talk. Resume talk is just for people who don't know anything, who don't know enough about boxing to have an intellectually stimulating conversation on the sport. Justin G says, name one fight where he had a phenomenal performance against anyone. Willie Nelson, Brian Rose. I mean, those are a couple. Willie Nelson and Brian Rose. And before you say, oh, who's Willie Nelson? Willie Nelson is the guy that fought Tony Harrison when Tony Harrison was undefeated as an underdog and beat the fuck out of Tony Harrison, stopped him on ESPN. The same Tony Harrison who outboxed Charlo and became a world champion. And Bubu Andrade just played with him. So you can start there. I know, Justin G, if you're asking me these questions, you're probably not well schooled on I'm not gonna be, look, I'm working on not being disrespectful because sometimes you guys start popping off at the mouth. And, you know, I just wanna y'all bring the old BT back. The BT I'm not trying to be no more. I'm trying to be respectful to everybody and love everybody. But look it up. Yeah, all I'll say is this. Look it up, Justin. Look up the Willie Nelson fight. Look up the Brian Rose fight. Look at those. Those are good fights. BT, who are you rolling with on the Crawford versus Porter, my brother? I'm going with Crawford. I think Crawford's a better fighter, but, all right, but what I'll say is this about Crawford and Porter. You got to factor in the business of boxing when it comes to this fight. If this is a close fight and Crawford, let's say Crawford leaves it up to interpretation, like Porter wins 5 rounds. Let's say he wins 5 rounds, right? You got to remember, Crawford's top rank contract is up, so it's not far-fetched. Crawford could lose a crazy decision. So if I'm Crawford, if the stoppage comes, if I can get Porter out of there, man, get him the fuck out of there. Don't let Uncle Bob rob you. He really said Zab Judah was undisputed. He was. Do you not know boxing? He was undisputed. Go look it up. Google that shit. Like Wilder said, Google that shit. Don't everybody believe in Google? I'm glad you're coming around on Canelo. I thought you were kind of local for the hate. It's not hate. I don't hate. Listen, I'm going to say what I've said many times. I have too many things good going on in my life. If I sat here and I told you guys everything great going on in my life, like I've got too many things good going on in my life to hate on any man, let alone Canelo, let alone another man who got freckles and, red hair, looks like an Irishman. I don't hate nobody, man. I've always stated, even in the videos where I was saying that he's ducking people and all this stuff, I've always said that Canelo Alvarez is a creme de la creme A-level fighter. I never said he wasn't an A-level fighter. I'm just saying he should stop ducking Demetrius Andrew. That's all I said. I'm saying, who are your top 3 favorite fighters currently, BT? My favorite fighters? That's a hell of a question. Chocolatito will be number 1 for sure. He's my favorite fighter of all time. Number 2 would probably be, that's tough. I'm gonna say maybe Terence Crawford or Josh Taylor. They could be like, 2A and 2B, and then I know in the top 3 is what Sinisa Estrada, man. She in my top 3. That's one of my favorite fighters. So yeah, I'll say Chocolatito, Sinisa Estrada, and then Crawford or Taylor or Fury. One of them 3. But for sure, Chocolatito and Sinisa Estrada. Birdazoid Coursing 2 says, I live in the Southwest. Most Mexicans aren't interested in Mexican fights. Canelo versus Benavidez isn't desired by Mexicans. Are you sure about that? Because I feel like almost every Mexican I've talked to recently, that's the only fight they want to see.
That's the West Coast ones.
What?
A lot on the East Coast, they're not really as intrigued as that. Benavidez is not that big of a name. It's only big on the West Coast. It's a big West Coast fight.
I mean, look, a lot of these fighters that are big over here on the West Coast, like nobody knows who the fuck these people are in South Florida.
He's actually right.
New York,
the East Coast, for example, like the West, it's Canelo, right? But on the East, most likely, like you could say maybe Tank is a big star over there on the East Coast.
He's huge.
Yeah, so it goes like that. There hasn't been one that's been all around like for the East and the West. So maybe in the East Coast, there's more like people want to see the Charlo fights or things like that. Most people are intrigued in those.
This ain't true. I'm Mexican as fucking. Mexicans versus Mexicans are the best fights. They're some of the best fights in boxing. So I don't know. I don't agree with that comment because every Mexican I talk to. I mean, I talked to a Mexican yesterday. I talked to the most beautiful Mexican on earth yesterday, and she told me, she said, "Oh, the fight I want to see is Benavidez versus Canelo." So I said, "Shit, we might gotta see that fight." BT, I hope that you will listen to me for more fight predictions. Have I ever been wrong on big fights? You got a pretty good track record. Andre gonna school Canelo if it happens. I mean, if it happens. BT, when you get a chance, please read my comment before I posted it multiple times. Let's acknowledge Anthony's comments. He says, BT, did all that bravado that Canelo-Plant had before the fight backfire him in a sense, because it seems once he got into the championship rounds of Canelo, it looked like he was in over his head. Did it backfire? No, I don't think it backfired. There was a moment they captured in round 9 where they were both talking to each other, and I just feel like, look, it is who he is. It got him into a competitive fight. Listen, Canelo-Plant didn't lose the fight because of trash talk. Canelo-Plant lost the fight because Canelo was the better man, not because of pre-fight trash talk or because of PEDs and stuff like that. It was all down to just the fact that he didn't have that extra bit of quality, and Canelo did. And you could say, well, Canelo got that quality from his experience, and he did. But I don't think so. Let's see, Benavidez versus Canelo was fire, and I want it live in SoCal. Yeah, I don't think like I haven't heard any Mexican say they don't want to see that fight. Every Mexican I've talked to so far that's the only fight they talked about. Yeah, who the fuck is Josue Vargas? Cali boys appear to shut up to New York and drop them in the first round in front of all the Puerto Rico. Listen, I never thought highly of Josue Vargas. I thought he was a knockout loss waiting to happen. I always thought he was a hype job. BT, what is your all-time favorite fight? Mine is Gotti versus Ward 3. That's a good question. It's either, I don't know. It used to just be Riddick Bowe versus Holyfield 1. But now, I don't know, man. Wilder versus Fury 3 is right up there. And Gaia Estrada versus Chocolatito, both fights I like a lot. So I'll probably say it's probably still Bowe Holyfield 1. Bowe Holyfield 1 is my go-to. BT, how does Canelo get us to watch him even though people don't like him? Well, it's like anything. What did Tupac say? Tupac said it best. Tupac said that fear is stronger than love. He said, or no, fear is stronger than love. And yeah, I think he said that. I think he said fear is stronger than love. So yeah, no, not fear. He said hate is stronger than love. Hate, was it fear or hate? I don't know, but hate is stronger than love. And I believe that sometimes. I feel like when it comes to selling things, it applies. Yeah, they hate Canelo, but because of their hatred for Canelo, they'll go and they'll pay for the pay-per-view. That's how. Kelmer says, ask Sneesa Estrada out, BT. Listen, man, I'm not gonna comment too much on that, but you know, things are in the works. I'm not going to say much, but things are in the works, champ. Berlanga is another hype job. I mean, we'll see. I thought Berlanga got a little bit exposed, but I think it was good for him. He didn't lose the fight against Coceres, but he did get exposed, and he needed to tighten up and quick, because if not, he will get his ass knocked out. I saw a vid that he surpassed Floyd in Pac by being undisputed. No way. No way. I mean, Canelo's a great fighter, but no. Absolutely not. No. How can you surpass a guy that you lost to, and a guy that retired undefeated? You can't surpass and a guy that beats you so easily. I mean, so easily at an old age. Salute BT. Did Plant give a post-fight speech or interview yet? No, he has not. He hasn't. But he hasn't as of yet. But he did post on Instagram. He made a post on Instagram saying that he's good and he'll be back, Yep, they're pushing this propaganda that he's better than Floyd. That's ridiculous. He's better than Floyd. No way. Canelo Alvarez, like literally, Floyd Mayweather was an old man. Floyd Mayweather was spending half his training camps at the Mother Loving Strip Club, and he got schooled by Floyd. Canelo got schooled by Floyd. I don't want to hear it. BT, do you think it was a bad stoppage? That's a narrative I'm hearing. No. A lot of people. I mean, could Canelo-Plant have continued? Possibly, but when you put yourself in that position and you get dropped multiple times, you can't really hate on the stoppage. Look, y'all know I don't like Canelo. I'm looking for any reason to hate on Canelo and take it from him. But hey, he did his thing. You can't hate. He did his thing. He said, I know you see my boy Abdullah Mason. Yeah, I didn't see his fight live, but I did see him at the lounge of the Virgin Hotel. He had his whole team there. He was good young kid, good boxer. Shout out to him. Got a big future in boxing. Exactly. Canelo fans, don't let the Plant fight get your head blown up now. Yeah. He says things are in the works. Go. Yeah, look, man. I can't comment too much. I can't comment, man. I gotta keep things private and professional. You know what I'm saying? The 2 P's, private and professional. Jalen Thompson says, facts. Floyd was eating pizza, hanging with chicks, and he still schooled him. Yeah, he said, what did he say in 24/7? He said, I can hang out with chicks, I can drink soda, and they still can't beat me. Would you rather Canelo take on Benavidez or Charlo next or move to 175 to fight B2B or Bivol? My answer to that question would be neither. I'd rather him fight Demetrius Andrade, but if he can't fight Demetrius Andrade, then I would like to see him fight. Of those available options, I would like to see Benavidez. Benavidez. You see, hey, what's your question, champ? Earl Spence versus Canelo. It'll probably happen at some point. It'll probably happen. I don't see why it would have happened. You know, it's Al Heyman fighters, or not Al Heyman fighters. Spence is an Al Heyman fighter. They both sell like crazy in Texas. You know, that'd be a good fight. I think they would really do some big numbers, huge numbers. I'm talking about game-changing, record-breaking numbers. Canelo can't enjoy his victory, but you and all your chat was saying Plant was going to school. Canelo, come on, man. Well, hey, man, we can't be right all the time. If we were right all the time, you know, it would be boring. So we here, man. We here, and that's why you're here. And that's why I'll keep coming back, because it's the fun. It's the fun of it all. Now, it wasn't like Canelo Alvarez it wasn't an easy fight. He had to work. Thank you. Jesus. Canelo can't enjoy his victory. Well, he can enjoy his victory. I don't know why you're saying that, champ. I don't know. And by the way, for some of you guys that are asking for the link, I'm probably gonna end the live in like 10 minutes or so, because I gotta go to a gym. I gotta go to a gym and do some interviews. So yeah. Canelo-Plant took a dive. A lot of people are saying that. And look, you can never, ever put anything past anybody at that level of boxing. Ever. Never. Because when there's that much money involved, you just truly never know. But I'm not going to do that, because I'm not going to discredit Canelo's win. Yeah. Jose Crespo says, most people don't know shit about boxing. The late, great Roger Mayweather. You know, funny enough, right? Funny, I'm going to tell you guys a story. So I actually met Roger Mayweather. I met Roger Mayweather in Las Vegas here in 2017 at an amateur show. And we talked about boxing for like 10 minutes. And do you know what Roger Mayweather told me? Mayweather told me? He said, you know about boxing. So whenever anybody tries to use the whole like Roger Mayweather quote on me, I always tell them that Roger Mayweather told me himself before he passed away that I knew about boxing. So I don't want to hear it. He says, damn, you're skipping a lot of questions. Like what questions? There's a lot of comments. Who do you think comes out on top from all the young prospects from 130 to 135? I think Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur will have the best career. I've said it on a couple of occasions. I think of the young fighters, it's Shakur and Tio are like in their own class, and then Tank, Haney, and Ryan are just fighting for the scraps. But I think the creme of the creme of that weight class, around that weight, of those young fighters, is Shakur and Tio. But I got Shakur. Yeah, Thomas, shout out to you. He says Plant probably couldn't move his arms after round 9. Mayweather said his thigh hurt after the fight with Canelo. Canelo doesn't mind hitting the arms. Anything he can find. Listen, anything he's going to find, he's going to hit you with. Anything. So he's got, you know, a lot of times Canelo Alvarez will hit you on the quad. He'll use a lot of those old school attacks, hitting you on the quad to get your legs to slow down. You know, he's a crafty fighter. El Jefe, shout out to him. He says the people that said he took a dive are the people that are with Plant, so we got to take it with a grain of salt. We've seen Plant struggle and not look good. He got broken down. It happens. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, that's where I'm at. I thought he just got broken down. Canelo won fair and square. There's no reason to throw salt or do any of that. Didn't Mayweather say people paid to watch you get beat? He probably told Canelo about the secret. Maybe, man. Dandada says everyone was saying that Plant was the first guy in there to actually win, but now he took a dive. Canelo has to go and beat up Shakur for your chat to give credit. Well, look, I can't control what my chat says. I can only control what I say. Now, whatever the untouchables say, whatever the chat says, that's the chat. But me, myself, Brandon Nelson Taylor, I give Canelo his just due. Straight up and down. I give him his just due. What's next for Plant? That's the real question. I said it earlier. I think the next best option for him is to fight Anthony Dirrell. Anthony, I think it's a realistic fight. Anthony Dirrell's coming off a big knockout win. He fought on the Canelo card. He's ranked number 5 in the WBC, so he's got that ranking position. He don't like Caleb-Plant, so it'll be a bad blood match. I'm sure it'll be a good build-up. Make it happen. That fight. There's David Morrell. There's good fights out there. EJ Mono says if Caleb-Plant can come back, if Caleb-Plant comes back like Canelo did Floyd, I'll be happy. This loss, he can be a complete fighter. We'll see, man. I hope so. I hope I hope that this could be his quote unquote Floyd fight where he can put things together. I'll say this though, I know for a fact that I don't think Caleb-Plant's gonna box like a long time. Like I feel like he's got he's got bad hand problems. He's coming off hand surgery, so I don't think he's gonna have more than like maybe 5 fights at max, 4 or 5 fights max. But I think he'll max out the 4 or 5 fights and do some good things in his career because I know those hand problems are very serious. He had a career in kickboxing. He had about 117 amateur fights. He's had 21 fights in the pros, and he's got brittle hands. You either like a fighter or hate them, but deep down inside, there will never be real respect. The fuck are you talking about? Who are you talking about, FO? He says you either like a fighter or you hate them, but deep down inside, they will never. No, not all of us are that depressed and miserable to where we can't respect all the fighters. Miss me with that bullshit, bro. This ain't. I don't know what you're talking about, champ. But you clarify that more. Who are you? Are you talking about me specifically, or are you talking about in general? Is Canelo pound for pound? It's an honest question. Listen, I told you guys way before that. I told you guys when that fight first got. I told you guys as soon as Usyk beat Joshua, and I told you even in my build up to Usyk Joshua, I said if Usyk beats Joshua, Usyk is sitting on top of my pound for pound list no matter what else happens the rest of the year, and I'm keeping that same energy. Alexander Usyk is my pound for pound number 1, but Canelo Alvarez is definitely in the top 3. Hands down, he's definitely a top 3 pound for pound fighter. Let's see, who is the next pound for pound king after Canelo retires? Well, Canelo isn't the pound for pound king. It's Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk is the pound for pound king, not Canelo. He says, can you do the don't make excuses before the fight? Don't make excuses. Yeah, he ain't lost yet. Like Usyk ain't lost yet. There's been no controversy. There's been no PED scandal. There's been no gift decisions. All it's been is just kicking ass and taking names of the biggest and baddest motherfuckers at cruiserweight and heavyweight, undefeated champions. He's pound for pound, period, point blank. But yeah, man, lot of good things happening in boxing. I'm not Brandon Lee. Hey, man, we got the 140-pound prospect, Brandon Lee, in the building. Alfred, he sucks. Said he beat a washed 36-year-old. We got Brandon Lee here. That's funny. See, Usyk's undisputed run is still way more impressive. Majority knew Canelo's. Yeah, like, look, not just, I would say, look, if out of all the undisputed champions, I would say that Usyk and probably, man, yeah, Usyk and I think Tio. I mean, if you count Tio, the undisputed champion, I think Usyk and Tio had the most impressive undisputed runs. Crawford had a weak run. Taylor just had a solid run. He had beat some good fighters. Like Ramirez is a good fighter. Prograis is a very good fighter. But like Usyk beat. When Usyk stepped into the cruiserweight division, it was one of the most, if not the most, stacked weight class in the sport of boxing at that time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If it wasn't the most stacked, it was definitely in the top 2 or 3. But people don't watch the cruiserweight division universally. They don't, so they can say, oh well, he can spot a bunch of Europeans and I don't know who he is and all this stuff. Why isn't Josh Taylor's Undisputed win talked about enough? Is it because he fought on a small venue? I feel like Top Rank didn't promote that fight enough. No, they didn't. They didn't. And I watched that. I made a video about it that week. I made a video about it that week, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible how bad they promoted that fight. And the sad thing is, right, that fight right there, and how bad it was promoted, and how underwhelming it was as far as like boxing fans talking about it. Boxing fans got exposed in a bad way that week because, a lot of people always say, oh, well, we want to see the best fight the best. We want to see these guys fight when they're in their prime and, when they're undisputed and things like this. So you finally get two guys in their prime, Olympians, undefeated champions, fighting at the best. They're not waiting around. They're not marinating nothing. They fight each other, and the buzz was very underwhelming, and it wasn't promoted properly. So that fight right there, what everybody says that boxing fans just want to see the best fight the best, it's bullshit, bro. Boxing fans don't want to see the best fight the best. They want drama. They want controversy. They want excitement. Then they want to see the best fight the best. That's truthfully what it is. I mean, it's up for debate. It's up for debate. I think it's up for debate, Julius. Like, I think Josh Taylor beat more good fighters. He beat fighters that were better than all the fighters on Tio's resume for the most part. But Tio's win against Lomachenko. I mean, Lomachenko's Lomachenko. People had him up here. They had him up here, straight to the top at the time. Nobody was giving him a chance. I remember I made a video in 2019 saying that Teofimo Lopez was the man to beat Lomachenko. They said, no, true school. No, you're crazy. How could you say this? He hasn't fought nobody. Look at his resume. And it was against all odds. And Teofimo Lopez found a way to win. So I just think because of the Loma win, it puts it over just for that one win. Overall, body of work, Josh Taylor. But because of the Lomachenko win, I have to. Kome was a champion. Nakatani proved he earned his stripes in the division in that fight and later on.
We probably gonna watch Benavidez.
Huh?
That week. We probably gonna watch Benavidez that week.
What week?
Next week?
This week.
Oh, this week. Yeah.
Okay.
Benavidez.
What you mean watch it, boy? Go to the fight?
No.
Go to Arizona?
No.
Punch Drunk Boxing, what's good? Chevy says facts. Shout out to Truth. Shout out to Punch Drunk Boxing. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my main man, Punch Drunk Boxing, doing good things. Shout out to him.
Punch Drunk Boxing, one of my favorite channels.
Yes.
Yeah. But the one thing is he got True School Sports a little too low on his list.
Other than that, we good. But
I'm a fan. Tell him I'm a fan.
My boy Johnny's a fan of yours. I think Plant is better than all those guys. Which guys? Who? Yeah, Canelo-Plant can win another championship. I don't know why he is the most disliked boxer. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because he's a confident white boy. I don't know. What is it? What is it? One SSS shout out. I found God because of Punch Drunk. Hey, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. Anytime you can find God, anytime you can get God in your life, it's the most beautiful thing you could do. God's the only reason we've had any success here on YouTube. Really, He just makes things happen for me, and He always puts me at the right place at the right time. And absolutely. So, hey, welcome. God bless you, champ. God bless you, one SSS. What does Pops think about the fight? Oh, Pops is gas. Pops don't think anybody can be Canelo right now. Pops don't think anybody can be Canelo right now, and not even Andrade. I gotta get Pops on here soon to tell you guys. Plant talked a lot of shit. It's part of the sport. Like, I don't understand why. Like, people don't make no sense, right? So, on one hand, you get boxing fans that say, "Oh, well, we want to be entertained. We want someone that talks shit." Then you get someone that talks shit and they say, "Oh, well, that's disrespectful. We want someone that's respectable champion, a humble champion." But then when it comes to the humble champions fighting on pay-per-view, y'all motherfuckers don't be supporting them. Humble champions don't sell pay-per-views. Look at Andre Ward. Look how humble he was.
You want a Canelo-Plant pay-per-view, or you want another Canelo Callum Smith?
Yeah, would you guys rather have?
You lead them.
Would you guys rather have Avni Yildirim, or would you guys rather have Canelo Smith versus Canelo, where Canelo Smith's like, yeah, mate, I think one of the best middleweights in the world, and if I'm switched up and I use me jab and I stick to me game plan, like if you want to hear that bullshit, or do you want actual entertainment? Canelo, the coward, ducked Andre at 154 and 160. He says, just don't end up like Josue. I'll never end up like Josue. Josue, man, good boxer, but man, Josue, he deserves it, man. He was talking too much shit about Josh Taylor after Josh Taylor came on the speed talking about, oh, I'm gonna take the belts off you.
I want to see.
Man, you almost got knocked out by a journeyman.
I want to see Jose Zepeda fight. I don't know about Brosen.
That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, good.
Brandon Lentz, what's good, champ? Shout out to my guy, Brandon Lentz.
Very top ranking.
PM says, is Pops going to have the Canelo shit on in the next live? I gotta go buy it from him. I'm gonna go to the MGM Grand soon, and I'm gonna go see if they have the shirts on clearance. I want to get that white shirt that says "Making History." Escribiendo la historia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caleb-Plant. Listen, man, Caleb-Plant sold this fight. I know for a fact. You can't sit here and tell me you guys were excited when he fought Canelo Smith, and Canelo Smith was like, mate, I'm one of the best middleweights in the world, and I'm just happy to shed the like. I know for a fact you guys are not seriously gonna sit here and bullshit me and say, oh yeah, I'm so honored to share the ring with him. You see these fighters get their ass beat and they say, I'm just happy to share the ring with him. Man.
Shout out to Canelo Smith though. He went 12 rounds.
He won 12 rounds. He did what all the other guys couldn't do. We talked about shit about him. He won 12 rounds. He got his freaking arm busted up, but he won 12 rounds.
True Liverpoolian
warrior. You're damn right. I like when boxers talk shit. At the end of the day, it's a business, and we like the circus. Yes. Let the sideshow begin. Everybody step right on in. People love a circus. People love fighters talk shit. Absolutely. That's why Floyd sold so much. That's why Mike Tyson is popular. Mike Tyson can say the craziest shit and people get excited about it. Stickly 978 says, you're lucky I don't have your number, BT. I would have blown that thing up. Respect. Man, I have my shit on Do Not Disturb anyway, so you wouldn't have got through to me. Yeah, you wouldn't even have got to me. 978. Is that a Massachusetts area code? I think it's a Massachusetts area code. Okay. Shout out to you in Massachusetts if that's where you're from.
It's an area code wherever you're from. Shout out to you.
No, 978 is Massachusetts. It's Boston, New England.
Let's go Patriots.
Lawrence. There you go. Lawrence, Massachusetts. Hey, I got a family all up and down Lawrence. I used to go to all the Dominican barbershops there. Dominican barbershop on every corner.
They got Dominicans in Massachusetts?
And Lawrence? That's all they got is Dominicans. Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. You got when you get the when you get the money to fly,
yeah,
you gotta start traveling. Shout out to everybody here, man. How you doing? We are not from Boston. We are from Lawrence. And trust me, I know the difference. I know the difference. The mayor is Dominican. Yeah, everything in Lawrence is Dominican. The question is, if Boo Boo was at 168 and was in Caleb-Plant position for Undisputed versus Canelo, would Canelo have ducked him at 168 or have fought him?
Tell them about my criteria to become a disputed.
You can tell them.
So to me, when you become a disputed, you really got to be undisputed. You got to beat everybody. So in my book, Josh Taylor not undisputed.
Who you got? Wait.
Until he fight Jack Catterall.
So Josh Taylor got to beat Jack Catterall. Why does Josh Taylor got to beat Jack Catterall to officially be undisputed in your book?
Jack Catterall took step aside money before they made that undisputed fight, so he got to beat Jack Catterall to make it to solidify it.
Okay.
And then Canelo, the legitimate WBC champion, was David Benavidez, so he got to beat David Benavidez. And then he ducked Demetrius Andrade at 68-54. So he got to go see Demetrius Andrade, and then Tio, he got to go see Devin Haney.
So who are the only undisputed champions in boxing, like the legit ones?
Alexander Usyk and Terence Crawford.
So that's it.
When he did it, yeah.
Okay. So there you have it. According to Johnny, the only legitimate undisputed champions in boxing are Terence Crawford and Alexander Usyk.
Because Alexander Usyk, what he did was he became undisputed, and then he even went and fought the legitimate WBC champion, which was Tony Bellew at the time.
Yeah.
And he beat him.
Yeah. Wayne Love Peacock says, "You're too young to know that song, man." There's a lot of songs that I'm too young to know, but I know him. I know him, champ. I know him. I know all of them. I know a lot of them. I got my soundtrack ready for when Pop Baby's out. Anyway, Edgar Allah says Catterall is not a challenge for Taylor. That's true, but he got to fight him.
He got to fight him. In my book, he got to beat him.
The white Kanye West says, "I'm from Mexico. We don't like Canelo. We like Boo Boo." There you have it. There you have it. Mexico exposed. Confirmed. Demetrius Andrade, Mexico's #1 fighter. So Canelo Alvarez doesn't fight Demetrius Andrade. He's not Mexican no more.
Does he really live in Mexico?
I don't know. I ain't know this dude. But if he's from Mexico and he say that they don't like Canelo, we gonna roll with it.
Yeah. Just like I said, Canelo really got dropped by Jose Miguel Cotto, but the ropes held on.
People keep mentioning 11 months, but don't mention that the WBC was offering Benavidez a belt and the WBA belt. That's a good point. That's a hell of a point. Don't talk about Mexico like that. Keep race out of it, like white Kanye West. Yeah. He hasn't fought anyone. Okay. You keep believing that, champ. You keep believing that Boo Boo hasn't fought anybody. You're gonna find out when it's too late. But listen, man. Listen, guys. I gotta go somewhere very important. So I'm gonna end the live. But before I end the live, thank you guys for a great fight week. Continue to support all the content here on the channel. And we'll be live Saturday for both fights. We'll be live for Munguia versus Rosado and Benavidez versus Cameron Davis, and it should be a really fun time. So yes, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more lives this week, and just stay tuned for all the content drop on the channel. We're growing, we're getting better, and yeah, brick by brick, day by day, just getting better. Like with time, like a fine wine. We just get better with time. So you guys take care. God bless. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Dane. So until next time, take care, guys.